I feel like it's a very sour topic. It's a topic that I know what's right and wrong, and whether it's right or wrong to other people, I don't care because I know how genetics work.
Okay.
There's transgender woman, whatever you want to politically correct call this, he, her, he, it, whatever. Named Leah Thomas, pretty much dominated Division One swimming and won not the trans women finals, not the men's finals, not the women's. She won the women's finals, and it was. I don't think I've heard it wasn't close. There are other swimmers who are females, or whatever you're supposed to say, born females or cis, whatever they want to call people nowadays. There are other swimmers who are females who feel like, who I've actually heard saying like this is not fair because they know how swimming relies on body strength. And I don't care what way you slice it or dice it or chop it off, it does not matter. And that's not a joke either. This is wrong. I think I asked the question fair or unfair because the society we live in, I think it's completely unfair. It's like if you were doing this in the men's, fantastic. But you are thinking that you're a woman now is not right to me. You robbed so many college students of their dream. One of these girls was going to win that thing, and you decide to do your thing. I have no respect for this whatsoever. I don't care what the rules are. I think we're going to look back at this 100 years from now and say, wow, that was a stupid time in history. Not even the fact of the political correctness of it all, Aaron. Just the fact that this was allowed to happen is completely wrong in my opinion.
Yeah, this is such a tough subject, and one that there's I can't say there's no right answer or no wrong answer because there is. It depends on what that answer is person to person. Like, I mean, back in the day, women fought so hard to gain equal rights in
Yes.
what's called Title IX. I don't know if you remember that. There was an ESPN
I've
30.
read up on it too.
There's a 30 for 30 on it. And it almost feels like this sets those back. Now, in the world we live in, we also want to accept transgender people and people who are unsure about their gender. I don't know what the right words are. I won't pretend to.
Right.
And ultimately, as a person, I can accept, their story, their journey, and whatever they want to do in life. But there are speed bumps to that, and this is one of them. As a person who has genetics that are male, this feels like it should not be allowed against people who are who have genetics of simply only female. Now, Leah Thomas I don't know if she's been, she's gotten surgery or if I don't know the whole story with this situation. And frankly, I know that it's a big point of contention amongst, it's almost like a political discussion here. It has gotten to the level of that. I don't know if it'll ever become even further, but there have been other people who have done this and switched, transitioned from female to male as well. Are you going to let them compete in male events?
If
No?
they call it career suicide, yeah, no.
But that's the question. So if a person who identifies and transitions into a male from female, it's hard to keep them away from being able to compete in competitions of their gender. And if they don't win, we don't really care.
Right.
Because if a person switches from female to male and competes in a male sport, whatever it is, and is terrible at it, we don't care. But when a person switches from male to female and thoroughly dominates the sport, wins by almost 2 seconds, which in a race style competition, yeah. That's big. That's absolutely big. Now, you could argue, okay, Katie Ledecky, the world record time wasn't ever in doubt because I think she was like 6 or 7 seconds away from the world record. Now, yes, Katie Ledecky is an Olympian, an accomplished Olympian, and an outlier to the sport.
Yes.
So it's such a strange, I don't want to say a strange time we live in, but it's a strange component to this entire time that we live in. Like, is it okay for people to transition and then compete as long as they don't win or dominate? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there have been other unknown transitions that have happened where we just don't hear about it because they didn't win by
and it
two
wasn't sexy in the
seconds.
media.
And yeah, I mean, it may have not. It may have also been at a time where that was a little bit more shameful
Right.
for that person. So this is such a tough subject. Ultimately, I fall on the side of you can't. You have. This is going to sound bad, and because it's not. It doesn't fall under every person that exists on planet Earth. But males are just kind of stronger than females in a
Kind
lot of
of.
aspect. Look, not every one of them. Like if I raced Katie Ledecky today, or if I
Well,
raced
yeah, but she's an
some of these
athlete.
college females, I can't beat them. But
She's
I'm saying,
athletic as crap, though.
but I mean, even if you went over to your local pool, there's probably women I can't beat in swimming.
Fair.
But what I'm saying is, in traditional like society, like men are stronger than women. Now, yes, there
Yes.
are outliers, of course. So for a male to transition to a female who's already probably, I mean, this is a person who's good at the sport. I would imagine Leah
Yes.
Thomas is good at the sport. You can't have me transition to a female and expect me to dominate women's swimming. That's just not gonna. But I'm saying a person who's already, a competent swimmer, for them to transition and dominate D1 swimming like this,
Have you read the
I can't.
story of her as well? Like she whatever literally transitioned like
Look,
in
it's
college, I
it's a
believe.
it's a female. You call her she. Look, I understand what you're trying to do, but she's a she.
Yeah, no, but with that aside, it still happened. I believe during college or during at least high school. I've read. I'm like, seriously, this guy like literally all like grew into these things and then decides, oh, and now I want to be. No, you can't. This makes it even worse to me. The fact that it was so late in life. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's true.
Well, I mean, you're not going to have a 12-year-old transitioning. That's just
But if you're
gruesome.
but you're in college, it's not like you're in professional. You're in college sports and you're transitioning. Well, yeah, you're going to be stronger
Well,
because
when
you're
you're in
showing
college,
tolerance.
you're becoming an adult. Like you're an adult in college. So I get what you're saying, and it's tough. And the other question, the other shoe on the other foot is, okay, why now? But at the same time, like we could like look at the Calvin Ridley thing. Oh, he went away for mental health. Well, are you buying it? No. I mean, why now? Why now? All of a sudden, it comes out he's been gambling on sports, and that's probably a big cover up. The Ben Simmons thing, mental health, can also be affecting in this situation here. Like, okay, did she only transition because she wanted to compete and be a champion? No, I don't think so. I think
Right.
it ultimately there's obviously parts of her life that she never felt like she was a male. It's tough. I don't know the right answer. And if there is a right answer, I would love to hear if there's an absolute right answer, because if this happens and sets a trend, it could destroy women's sports.
Agreed. I also saw a thing on Facebook. This is a great comment. It was very politically correct in today's society. The person was like, "Yeah, both can be true. You can accept transgender people. You can also realize this is completely unfair when you look at swimming. Both
100%.
of
I
those can
think
be true."
100%. And I don't know if this makes things better or worse in terms of exclusion or exclusion, but you could also just have a separate division. I don't know,
Right. I
but
want to
that
give this.
excludes them further.